about to show you some of the sauce that like changed the way that I make beats. Like, listen to this. Oh, I forgot my coffee. Oh yeah, that's better. One of my favorite types of beats to make is hard trap beats, like the Nardo Wick, Future, herbo type of style. But one of the hardest things to do while making that genre is actually sticking out. So today we're going to go into some of my tricks on how you can stick out while making somewhat of a generic style of beats. I feel like I've gotten really good at this because, as you may know, I host underground retreats, and during those retreats, I always have sessions where people come into my room and listen to a bunch of beats and pick out whichever ones they want to get on. And because of that, I've had hundreds and hundreds of artists listen to my beats, and I've just kind of picked up on what people like and what they don't like. So this is going to be how you stick out, as well as how to make beats that people are actually using. Let's get straight into it. Before we get into it, I just want to say I am absolutely loving my new studio. If you ever need recommendations on how to have a really good looking studio, literally just get some plants, get some art, get some color, and a rug. The rug is more for me. The rug just fills out like any room. It makes it look. And if you're wondering what I use for lighting, by the way, because I know a lot of people ask me about that, it's just a soft box. And then I have like a little light in the background. It adds some depth to the scene. I can actually change colors with it, but you'll notice there's a little bit of flickering in it because of my camera settings. So I think I need to either record slightly different, but there's your studio tips. Let's get into making some hard motherfucking beats. This is by far my favorite genre to make. I don't care if it's overmade. I don't care if people do it a ton. We're gonna do it anyways. All right, so first I'm gonna grab this kit from the producer crate. It's called Paradox. Pretty fire. It's like a little analog lab bank we put together a while back. It's specific for these hard type of beats. And the first thing that I'm going to do is look for a sound that has just some unique character to it, because if you start with a really strong foundation and something that already sounds unique right off the bat, you're going to be golden. All right, so let's go through some sounds. That'd be fire if we were making a Cardi beat, but we're not today. Oh, see, this is fire. It like slowly changes over time. In Analog Lab, a lot of these types of sounds are called evolving synths. We'll start with one of those. I like making beats in F minor because it just hits super hard. D minor is also super fire for these type of beats, but remember, you don't need to stick to one key. That's kind of lame. Yeah, see, that sounds so fire. It's literally just like, I do like that. All right, so the first thing that I'm doing is just kind of making a bass line to start off with. Not a bass line like bass notes, but a bass line like foundation for the beat. You can see it's very call and response here. It's call, response, call, response. And that's just gonna add some nice flow to the beat. So we're gonna start off with that. And then after I get my first sound down, I'm gonna start adding some drums, and then we'll add the energy afterwards. So with the drums, you wanna get a little bit crazy with them, but in a basic way. And I know that might sound a little bit confusing, so I'll show you what I mean. So first, we're gonna find probably a short 808 for this because a lot of our sounds are gonna be longer. These are all from Drum Demon 3. This is like the only drum kit I use for hard beats anymore because it's just perfect. So we're going to start with some 808s. Very simple, but still works. And we'll switch it up for this part. Oh, that's fire. What I'm doing here is I'm starting with something pretty basic, and I'm basically gonna have two versions of the 808 once the beat's more done. So we're gonna have this first 8 bars like this, maybe switch it up just a little bit. That's my cat, she likes hard beats. Basically what I'm doing with these 808s right now is I'm keeping it basic, and then once we get more of the beat developed, I'm actually gonna make a second pattern, and the end of the second pattern, I'm gonna put a crazy roll on it, because you don't wanna have crazy rolls like all the time. We're gonna go ahead and extend the melody here. Bah! Oh, fuck. Cool. And then for now, I'm just gonna add a basic hi-hat. I like something like this. Like, it's short, it's got a little bit of a tail to it, but it's not doing too much. Boom, every 2 steps. Fire. And then we're gonna go ahead and use our rim shot. I feel like I'm just drawn to rim shots a little bit more than I am with claps because I started making beats with claps so often. So now I don't know, I fuck with rim shots right now. It's all about what you fuck with at the end of the day. essentially my focus when I'm doing the claps or the rim shots or whatever is I want to make them a little bit complex at first, or not really complex, but like the typical pattern where it's got like the one on every two, and then it's got like the filler ones or whatever. And then I'll just go and start taking them out, because there's some points where you really don't need a rim shot or a clap or a snare or whatever, because their purpose is to help you keep the rhythm. But if the 808 is also helping keep the rhythm because it's not super complex, then you don't need all of them there. So we just have a little bit of a bare bones kind of setup there. We're gonna go ahead and add an open hat now. And it's all about the little things that you could do to make your beat stand out. So I'm going to take my open hat here, increase the hold, kind of do like you would do with the 808 here, so you can control when the open hat stops. And then we're going to take these, pitch them down just a little bit like that. So that way we're actually controlling exactly how long they play, which can be pretty helpful. All right, and then one last thing we're gonna do to still keep it simple, because at the end of the day, that's what you wanna do, is you wanna keep it simple. But to make it just a little bit more unique, we're gonna double click this bottom one here, turn it to a slide note. Bet you've never seen slide notes on an open hat before, huh? Watch. Oh, that shit hits so hard, bro. Oh my god. All right, so this is pretty fire. I want to move it up just a couple BPM, because I feel like 140 is a good like typical range for these type of beats. But if you go just a little bit faster, it's higher energy, and I really like the high energy beats like this. So let's try 148. A little bit too fast. 144. Perfect. We'll load up some more Analog Lab. The key to finding the perfect BPM is honestly just making a lot of beats and hearing a lot of songs in different BPMs and just figuring out like what feels better, because honestly, there's no right or wrong way to do it. Let's go ahead and pull up Paradox again. So we found a really unique sound, so now I'm looking for something that can add a little bit more energy. This one's good because it's clean, it's simple, and it's like sharp. Yeah, so this is gonna be really sick for this. I really like arpeggios. I used to play the piano a lot, and I never really like classically learned how to play, but I noticed I would always come up with the coolest shit when I had an arpeggio, so that's kind of translated into how I make beats. I think it adds so much energy. All right, so what I did on this second one is basically just add an extra note to make it like not really a chord. I don't know the musical term. It sounds really fucking cool for these type of beats. So listen to this. It's just, I don't know what you call it, but I call it fire. That's what I call it. Let's keep these going like that. Oh, it hits so hard. I'm about to show you some of the sauce that like changed the way that I make beats like this. It's one small thing. It sounds insane and I can't stop doing it. If you want to see the trick that I use, this is it. Pay attention. We're going to add a new pattern, and we're just going to paste that exact same pattern over to this new pattern here. This one. Here's the sauce. So we're gonna pull up Fin Micro. This is a killer plugin for these type of beats, and it's free, so download that shit right now. I'm gonna move this up just a little bit. It's gonna sound like this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna render it out, and then when you render it out, it's gonna sound like this. Now we make a cut here, and hear me out, because I know there's some people that do this part already, but there's one thing that I'm going to add to the end of this. It's just so I'm going to copy these all over, so now it sounds like this. So it like restarts the energy, and it makes a super nice flow for it. But now we're gonna render it all out as one, and then we're gonna double click on it, change this mode to stretch, and go up to 12 on the range. Right click the pitch, create automation clip, and now you've got a pitch automation. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna click the right click here, make a new point, move this almost all the way up. Like this is the max, so we're gonna go to like here, and then we'll keep it here. Now this is kind of part of the pattern, so you'll go like that. And now it sounds like this. It's so fire, because when it restarts, it's gonna do that same thing. Say you want to switch it back to its normal pitch, you could do that. You just go back down to 50. It's just That being said, what we're gonna do is make this one unique, delete that, delete all the points here so it just stays at 50. We'll just keep this one at 50, and then we're gonna keep this one where it starts to pitch up right there. So now what you've got is this. So let's keep adding some more stuff to this. I'm gonna go into one of my favorite kits for the melodies. It's called Nuclear. It's by Tri-Freeze and Max Shooter. Guess what? It's also on the producer crate. Let's go into the keys here. Oh, I love this. It's like a little bit detuned. I'm actually not gonna mess with this too much. We're gonna turn off the loop points and start making something. It might be a little bit too detuned, but we'll see. Oh. All right. I'm cooking. I can't lie. One thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch my TR5 clipper to soft clipper for this. It's gonna hit just a little bit harder. And then the last thing that we could probably do is add some phrases maybe. Oh, that's fire. Right now it's 140 C minor. So go ahead and right click the time, set to 4 bars, and then we'll stretch it back out to the 8 that it was at. Reset the pitch. It's in C minor right now, and we need to get to F minor, so that's up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just gonna add it on that part, and then actually the last thing for the melody right now is gonna be a yeet bell. Oh yeah, I love this thing. All right, so I'm gonna go to the pitch editor. It is on C, which is great. I'm gonna put this in the right key, and then I do love the flute. However, I need to add some effects on it because it's just a little bit dry right now, which is nice. I like that they're dry, honestly, because then you can add effects however you want. All right, we'll do that, and then we'll add parametric EQ2 classic. Let's try the radio preset. And then maybe some flanger. Hard. This is sounding pretty good. Now we gotta switch up the hi-hats a little bit. I'm just gonna show you like all the different tricks that I use and just use them all in this beat. I don't really recommend using all of them in the beats that you make, but just for the sake of showing you, I am just gonna make the beat with all of them. And sometimes gotta experiment. Who knows? Maybe it's gonna be crazy. I turn the hold knob up on this as well. I really like doing that with a lot of my drums. People usually do it with the 808s for sure, but now you can control like how long these are, which is sick. Like if we did this. Or we could do this. I'm gonna keep these basic. We're also going to take out some notes. One thing that makes it easy for the hi-hats is you could always just take out like the last note on the bar, and it's gonna add some fire bounce. If you don't know which ones you want to take out, but you know that you want to take some stuff out, just try that. The most important parts for me in a beat like this is having a really sick snare. We're gonna go back into Drum Demon 3. If I had to give any advice on the snares, I would say try using some of the ones that seem like they would be offbeat. Like this technically is not like on the grid in the right spot or whatever, but it sounds fire. So just experiment as much as you possibly can. And that's really what it comes down to. If you're experimenting and you're keeping an open mindset when you make beats, you're gonna make original, unique fire beats.
Since we have this really complex thing going on with the snares, I'm gonna go ahead and take some more hi-hats out just so it doesn't take up too much space, and it just adds a little bit of a different bounce to it. Sick. We are gonna go ahead and split everything by channel because we have one step left to do before we arrange, and that is going to be making a second 808 pattern. We'll go ahead and isolate this section here, and this is gonna be kind of the same thing. We're just trying to get really experimental with these. So it's pretty basic, to be honest. Like, it sounds kind of complex, but when you break it down, it's like these are just thirds. So this is like the same as if you just did one of these patterns, which is one of the most standard patterns in the entire industry. And then it just adds a quicker little section here. It's 4 notes long, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2. Copy that if you want, or just try out your own bounce. Sometimes it's hard to get it at first, but the more you mess with it, the better you're gonna get. And that being said, now it's time to arrange the beat. Different things with the arrangement, like you can take some parts out in different areas, whatever. I'm gonna keep it like this because I think it really hits like this. The main lesson here is just to experiment as much as you possibly can while still trying to maintain a quote-unquote standard of what the beat should sound like. Make sure to use the different tricks that I showed you in this video and let me know how they worked when you applied it to your own beats. If you want to get any of the kits that I used in this video, I actually run the producercrate.com where we've got literally like 370 kits right now or something like that and more. We drop a kit every single Friday. So if you like any of the sounds you heard, feel free to browse around there. But other than that, man, this has been a good fucking video. Really loved how this beat turned out. I'll go ahead and play the full version at the end of this video. Other than that, like, subscribe, do all the cool YouTube engagement stuff for me so I can keep making videos like this for you in the future. And by the way, I have an editor now, so I'm gonna be cranking these things out. I'm gonna be putting that boy to work. But as always, if you have anything that you want me to try, anything you want me to elaborate further on, like I said, if you want me to make a video on arrangement, mixing, whatever you need, drop a comment and I will make one ASAP. Until next time.